Okay, we are recording our sales webinar.
Excellent. All right, let's get started. If you're on right now in the audience, thank you so much for joining us today as a part of our Soligent Storage webinar series with our partner here on the show today. Give it up, round of applause for Big Battery. Big Battery, an amazing company, great solutions, UL grid-tied power systems in addition to off-grid, and all sorts of other energy storage, battery backup, standby power, mission critical power, including and not limited to other battery applications outside of our markets, really providing an amazing opportunity for us to provide additional value for our customers. In addition, and I know that Big Battery is going to go into a lot of these features and benefits throughout today's training. So again, thank you for being here. But up front, I want to remind you, sustainability is the key for our business, not just for our planet, but also from an economic standpoint. Could you imagine, I don't know if you know this or not, folks, but lead acid batteries, we're not talking lead acid today, but we're talking about the sustainability aspect, the ecosystem. The lead acid battery business, the lead acid battery business, the most recycled product on planet Earth. The lead acid battery business, that ecosystem, contains the most recycled product on planet Earth. More lead acid batteries are recycled than plastic bottles, aluminum cans, cardboard. And 99% of every single lead acid battery is turned into a new battery, recycled into a new battery, the raw materials. How much would a lead acid battery cost if that recycling scheme was not in effect? If that fact was not so, how much would lead acid batteries cost? It would be insane, right? So not just sustainability for our environment, but from an economic standpoint, recycling is very important. I don't have another battery partner that we work with that is saying we will recycle your lithium batteries at no cost. Big Battery is stepping up, one of the first I've seen to do so in the business. So I want to start off, big round of applause for our environment, our economic well-being, for the total ecosystem of energy storage as an economic value. It's just a reality. Recycling is key. And I want to applaud Big Battery for stepping up and leading the way in lithium battery recycling. So we're going to go into a lot of great stuff today. You see folks, customers and Soligent team members, folks who are out there in the nether regions of the world who are listening and trying to learn as much as you possibly can about adding more value to your customers and selling energy storage. That's what we're here to do today, not just teach you about Big Battery and the wonderful features and benefits and how you can buy these kits and solutions and packages and programs through your clean energy distributor here at Soligent. It's way beyond that. We're going to also be teaching you strategies, how to sell energy storage. It's not the same as solar. It's more customized. We're going to get into that. Okay, so real quick before I hand the baton off to our friends at Big Battery, Carlos Cauton is with us from Big Battery. Also, former NASA engineer, now Chief Technology Officer at Big Battery, Marshall Niepert, is with us today. So we're going to learn a lot of great stuff. But why do you have the doctor jacket on with the stethoscope, Josh? By the way, Josh Brumm, Energy Storage Manager here at Soligent. Find out more, email us, storage@soligent.net, and watch this video on demand at the Soligent YouTube channel as a part of our Soligent Storage webinar series. This is a stethoscope. This is a doctor jacket. Why is Josh wearing it? No, I'm not insane. Well, maybe I am a little bit. But why am I wearing it? Because you need to have a doctor's mentality when you're selling energy storage. When you go into a doctor's appointment, do you just walk in and be like, oh, my back hurts? Great. Here's your medicine. Have a great day. If it's a bad doctor, that happens. That's why you can't buy just a kit for energy storage and have it fit your situation. Every single situation with energy storage is customizable. You have to sell energy storage like a doctor, a good doctor. That means you've got to do the blood test. You've got to come in. We're going to get your weight. We're going to ask you some questions. Same thing with properly selling and sizing energy storage. Got to put on your energy storage doctor jackets and have no bias. Everything has to be customizable. So you have to figure out, okay, what is your goal? What are you trying to accomplish? Is it battery backup, whole house backup? Are you just self-consuming to get ROI on your standalone storage or your PV array? What is the purpose, and how many kilowatt hours do you need total in a max use day from your energy storage? It's all about math, energy in versus energy out. And then if you go through those particulars, just like a good doctor, then you could use your expertise in the amazing menu of products like Big Battery that's available right here at Soligent to prescribe the right solution to your patient or to your customer. So that's why I have the energy storage jacket on. And I want us all, when we're selling energy storage, to put on our figurative energy storage jackets or caps every single time you go sell energy storage. It's got to be customized. All right, without further ado, thanks again for joining us, Soligent team. Folks that are trying to learn how to sell energy storage, we have amazing solutions from Big Battery available here at Soligent. Let's learn more right now. Carlos Cauton from Big Battery, take it away. Thanks for hosting today's webinar as a part of the Soligent Storage webinar series. Thanks, Carlos.
You're very welcome, and thank you, Josh, for allowing Big Battery to be a part of this webinar. We're really excited here at Big Battery to have partnered with Soligent, the largest distributor in the United States. They really know what they're doing when they find manufacturers, and I believe here at Big Battery, we have a system that works. We have a system that is going to save your customers a lot of money, and we're going to win because of quality and because of price. So a little bit about Big Battery. Big Battery is a true manufacturer located in Chatsworth, California. We assemble, we design, we pack, and we manufacture all here in the United States in Chatsworth, California. We are a true manufacturer, and I say that because there's a lot of companies that are out there that say that they manufacture their batteries, but they're not. They're going to China and they're just getting a white label, and then they're marking it up without testing. And so we're the absolute opposite. We manufacture, we design, and we test all of our equipment before they leave, right? So all of our batteries come with a 10-year warranty. We have our own test facilities here. So we test the cell balancing, we test the BMS, we test the packing, we freeze our batteries, we heat it up to test the high temperature ranges, we do our BMSs. We're the complete show. So if you have a customer that's interested in doing an ODM, we're also the design partner that can produce or manufacture a battery, and we can white label for you here in the United States. What we're really great about, and I'm really proud about Big Battery, is we are a U.S. company. So we have our own service repair center here. All of our warranty work, it happens here. We send out our RMAs and we pick up the dime on shipping to bring them back if there is a warranty. We have our own aftermarket sales support. So we don't want your team to get caught up in the weeds. We have a sales support team, an entire room that is dedicated, that has been trained to answer all of your customers' calls. So if they need troubleshooting, if they need help with their systems, yes, get them directly over to us. We'll take care of your customers. We just want you to keep on selling. Okay. So I said that everything was engineered, designed, and manufactured here in the United States, and we are UL grid tied. So I'm going to get into the systems that are available for you today. You're going to notice here that we're not just in home storage. We also power the third largest golf cart manufacturer in the world. We do their batteries. They just white label it. We do RV and van and boat. I do food trucks, and we even manufacture forklifts. And so that's the kind of manufacturing levels that we have here at Big Battery. But I'm gonna get right into this. So I'm gonna introduce you to two of the UL grid tie brands. On the left side, you will notice this is what we call the ethos, and this is my stackable unit. Both UL grid tie 9540 as a system, the Lux inverter along with the ethos power system. On the right side, you have a Lux 12K inverter and the Rhino 2. I'm going to get into the specifics between the two, but you don't have to pair the Lux inverter to get 95. Well, 9540 is the inverter and the battery together. But to stand alone, this is still UL certified. So the batteries are both UL certified to 1973, 1741, 9540A, and they are pre-programmed. They still have closed loop communication with a number of inverters that are in the marketplace. Let me come on down. I'm going to start with the ethos. So this ethos battery is a complete stackable unit. It's UL certified indoor to up to 30 kilowatt hours inside. Outside, you can put on a UL grid tie, you can put 61.4 kilowatt hours outside. Now, what makes up this battery system? I'm going to scroll on down here. In the ethos, there's a control box. The control box is rated for 250 amps max continuous output. And then below the control box, you'll have a battery system with its own independent battery management system. It's an ethos 5.12 kilowatt hour battery. That then becomes a stackable unit. The minimum stack here is 10 kilowatt hours on one stack. Then you can climb up to 15.3 kilowatt hours. So what's involved in this kit? Again, you've got and it's a complete kit, folks. You don't have to go around and shop for extra parts or cables or communication cables. This is an ethos 15 kilowatt hour stack. It's IP65 rated, so you can put it inside and outside. It's UL certified. It's CEC listed. It comes with all the parallel cables. It comes with all the COM cables. It has communication, so it has RS485, and it has CAN bus communication. All of my batteries that we build also come with a fire extinguisher in each of the battery modules. We're the only manufacturer that does this because of safety. When I talk about safety, we actually cover it in 3 steps. Triple redundancy, I'd like to say. The first safety is that it comes with a robust battery management system. The battery management system will measure high amperage cutoff, low voltage cutoff, high temperature and low temperature cutoff. It'll prevent from that thermal runaway. The second level of protection is that these batteries are lithium iron phosphate prismatic cells. They are not your NMC like Tesla. They are not the combustible type where if it does catch fire, right, you can't put it out. You cannot put it out with a fire extinguisher. You can't put it out with water. You just got to wait it out. This is LFP, lithium iron phosphate. And the third redundancy in safety is that they all come with fire extinguishers built in. So if there is a fire, it will put itself out before the fire damages or causes damage to this battery system. So this is the ethos 15 kilowatt hour. I want to point out here, this is my map pricing, fellas and gals. This is my map pricing. If you were to take, for example, a Tesla Powerwall or an Enphase or Fortress or really a home grid system, when you try and compare the kilowatt hours to price per kilowatt hours, this ethos system is 15 kilowatt hours at $5,800 map pricing. The home grids and all the other systems, Fortress, they're more than double the cost. So you're already winning, right? Working with Soligent is going to get you a very deep discount. And at the end of the day, it's really a bidding war. You're going to win. They come with a 10-year warranty. They're US manufactured, all of the support. aftermarket support is here in the United States. My repair center, the warranty, it's all done here. So this is my ethos system. Okay, I'm going to go back into my UL grid tie, and I'm going to go now into the colder weathers battery. This is what we call the Rhino 2. The Rhino 2, this Rhino 2 is a wall mount unit. You can hang it on the wall. It's comparable to the same kilowatt hours as a Tesla Powerwall, but look at the cost. My map pricing is $37.99. Are you kidding me? This is IP65 rated. It's indoor, it's outdoor. It has all the same functions. So it has RS-485. It has CAN bus communication. It's IP65, built-in fire extinguishers. But there is one special function on this battery, is that it does come with self-heating. So it has heater strips built in. And this is a great design for the colder climates like Chicago or Minnesota or New York. This does have self-heating mechanisms in this. Either way, both batteries, the Ethos and this Rhino 2, they're both UL certified, standing alone without the inverter. Now, I want to now get into the inverter itself and why we chose this inverter manufacturer. We don't manufacture the inverter, and we don't pretend that we do. The manufacturer, why we selected the this inverter is for a lot of reasons. Let me get into it here. Okay, so this is the Lux 12K inverter. It's similar to the Solarc, but it's got a lot more functions to this inverter. And I'm going to start off by saying, again, this is my map pricing. This isn't what you're going to get from Soligent, but this is already $1,400 cheaper than Solarc. Okay, now this inverter, you'll notice here, it's a 12 kW inverter, but it's a hybrid. So you can actually bring in 18K PV in from your solar array. What makes this inverter special? Let me kind of zoom in here. What makes this inverter special? One, it's IP65 rated. Two, it's UL certified. Three, it's UL 9540 already as a system with the battery. But what I like most about this inverter is that it's both AC and DC coupled. You can literally, if you have strings already on the roof, whether it's Enphase or Solar Edge, man, you don't have to change the string configuration. You don't have to mess with any of the series on the roof. You're just gonna bring that voltage down, or your strings down, and into the AC port. It's awesome. So you can take any high voltage solar PVs on the roof, take it away from the sub panel, and bring it in as an AC. This inverter has a 200 amp pass through. It has a max surge rate of 25,000 watts. It's going to be able to bring in a generator as backup. You can see that here. It has a built-in MPPT solar charge controller in it. And I want to point this out. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 strings that you can bring in. The very first 4 ports here are actually your first string, but you can face them in the same direction. The other 2 ports, the second 2 ports that are here, these are for 2 extra strings that you can bring to any other direction on your roof. Now you've got your ground for the solar, you've got your ground for your batteries. It has your communication cables. It has automatic transfer switch, and it has a rapid shutdown here on the left of the inverter. It's fully thought out, and it is a great inverter. One special thing about this inverter also is that it comes with a Wi-Fi dongle. Okay, and what does that do? Basically, the majority of our customers are 50 years and older, and they just can't stop themselves from pushing buttons. So they're going to reconfigure their inverter. They're going to call the installers, and they're going to say, "Hey, I did it again. I started pushing buttons. I need you to come out here and fix my inverter because it's not working correctly, and I can't get all my power. It's shutting off at 40%." Well, you can save that service call. You can save your time because you're going to be able to have access live through your laptop, and you'll be able to see their system. You can see their historical data. You can find out exactly what's happening or what has happened with their inverter. And if you can't figure that out, because you're new at the configurations and learning the systems of the Lux, well, then we're at the top. Big Battery, you can call Big Battery and say, "Hey, I'm still, a week in, 2 weeks in, 3 weeks in. Can you help me reconfigure this battery? Or can you tell me what's going on with the inverter?" And we have the highest level of access. In fact, that same customer, if he keeps pushing buttons, you can even lock him out, and so that he doesn't do that again. Okay, so I'm going to come on down here. Let me go. So I talked about the inverter. I talked about the batteries. I'm going to start talking about the kits. Okay. Oh, one thing here about the inverter. I've totally forgot to mention. I'm going to go back to the inverter because this is important. The inverter, if put in parallel, you're going to be able to achieve 208. What does that mean? That means, and we've got a lot of customers that are now offering 208 for commercial buildings. We're offering them to restaurants because restaurants are just using a lot of power and they need to save some money. So they're pairing a minimum of 2 inverters to achieve 208. So now you can go into the grid. You could do time of use. You can lower their bills just by adding 2 of those inverters. Now I'm going to get into the systems and how they're available to you, right? And so you can see here that this here is a 30 kilowatt hour stack. You can customize it because the Ethos system is like Legos. It's really awesome. So this is a 30 kilowatt hour stack. These are each 5 kilowatt hours. You can do a 30 kilowatt hour stack. You could do a 20 kilowatt hour stack, 15 or 10. You could sell your customer a 15 kilowatt hour stack. And if they add AC, to their system at home and they need more power, then we have expansion kits available. You can say, "Okay, Mr. Customer, you just bought AC. Let's just add another 15 kilowatt hour stack." Okay, so this is a complete kit, fellas and gals. This is a complete kit. When you order a system, you're going to receive everything. So what do I mean by that? This system here, let me just kind of share with you. It's going to have everything from the inverter. You're going to have the power cables that go into the inverter. You're going to have the parallel cables, the communication cables, and everything's one. You don't have to search for anything else, right? And so that's also a plus. We provide you everything as a kit. Now, I can answer any questions that you have on the batteries, anybody online, because I'm going to move on to another subject, which is called standalone power.
This is Marshall, the CTO. I want to make a couple quick pieces of information that we missed. So 6,562 feet is the altitude. That was a question on the side. The next question is going to be, I think there was some other features. So rapid shutdown. The inverter itself has a PV shutoff switch on the side. So you don't have to install a separate PV shutoff. It's integrated on the side. That's that red switch. It also has an automatic transfer switch. So when the power goes out, it immediately less than a millisecond, shuts off from the grid and goes into off-grid mode. There is an off-grid mode that you can set. There's the AC coupling mode. So it has a lot of functionality. If there's any other questions on the functionality inverter, you can put it in the side, and I'll answer that question.
There's a question there also from Bruce about what RSD brands are supported. So I know that Tigo is supported on this system itself for the rapid shutdown, and there's a few others. I don't have those, but I know that Tigo, I've done a few here with Tigo. So that one, I hope, Bruce, that answers your question.
Yeah, and we have the full manual for that, Lux. On every single one of these system pages, you'll see the UL certifications. You'll see the manuals for the inverters, the manuals for the batteries. And I wanted to talk about really quickly the commissioning, right? So the commissioning of these batteries, when you plug in the modules are plug and play connectors. So they use Amphenol connectors, and you push them in. They're done. You put the panels on, and it's a snap-in panel and 2 screws per panel. Very easy install. The commissioning on the battery side, you select the menu, go down to the inverter type. It communicates with, I think, about 18 different inverter brands. So the battery itself has closed loop communication with many brands that are that's in the manual. For example, Solarc, the new Solus 48 volts, SMA. Anyway, the list is in there. EG4. So okay.
And if I can also, Marshall was at the booth with us with Soligent as our awesome team was there meeting with customers and just partners and stakeholders throughout the industry at RE Plus Northern California and Santa Clara this past week. And Marshall was at our booth, at our Soligent booth, proudly displaying this Ethos battery system that is now available at Soligent. And Marshall, would you mind describing the ease to which everything got connected? My goodness, you connected up a 10 kilowatt hour battery stack in just a handful of minutes. That is a huge advantage for our installers for commissioning time, right, Marshall?
Yeah, so basically you drop the base down, the first module goes on top, it locks right in, and then you have Amphenol connectors from module to module. They chain up, and then on the other side, you just plug in the communication cables up the chain and put the panels on, snap the panels, and we're talking about minutes. It's a very, very easy install. 100-pound modules and with handles on the top, so one person can go and just lift those up on top, or two. But it's I mean, I did it myself at the show in 4 minutes or 5 minutes. We're trying to figure out how fast we could go, but yeah, it's a quick, easy install. That's important to have that.
I'd like to add also here on because the Ethos battery is so stackable, you can actually achieve 16 batteries on one control box. That's 80 kilowatt hours of backup storage that you can connect in parallel to one control box. These are the protocols, and you can set each of these dipsticks to register onto that control box. That's our communication ports. I think that I had a list here. This is going to help answer some of the questions that you guys have. So
there's another question. Sorry, there's another question. Is it communicate with AP Smart? The answer is yes. It is compatible with AP Smart.
Thank you. Now, the communication portion on the left side of the battery, these are your communication Ethernet plugs. On the right side are your parallel cables. So you notice you're going to get a 6-inch cable, negative and positive, and it's just plug and play. You're just pushing, and it's a push lock system. So the commissioning portion is really super fast. And then you have these side panels to cover up all your parallel, right? So this is where your parallel and then you parallel again, negative with negative, and you just kind of go down the line. It's so fast. This is probably a better view of it. You have your COM cables, and then you have your parallel cables to put the battery in a stack. Okay, so that's how you connect two stacks. It's commissioning is so fast on this thing. Okay, so I'm gonna just jump off of this. If there's any other questions, I can help you guys. You know what? Here's the list right here of the inverters that are on protocol. Okay?
Your closed loop as well and open loop. So if you have a situation with somebody who has an old VFXR 3648 Outback 3.6 kW inverter for their off-grid system or something like that, or heck, even if it's 24 volt, which a lot of our 48 volt suppliers can't help with, they can actually assist us. It doesn't have to be just that closed loop COM. So they have situations where they can very easily help your customers do retrofits on old systems where the inverter might not have that communication capability, like the old Outback as an example, right, Carlos?
That's correct. So if you don't have communications or CAN bus, we would usually, what we'll do is we'll set the parameters correctly. And that's really easy. You're just going to set the high voltage parameter. You're going to set the low voltage and then your float, and it's done. You would set it by voltage.
And on the battery, there's nothing to set. So the battery will function normally standalone with no comms. If it's wired up and the breakers are turned on, it'll act like just a 48 volt system.
All right, so let's see. Do we have any other questions here? All right, I'm going to move along here, and I'm going to introduce you to what we are doing differently compared to the marketplace here. Let me just kind of zoom in here. Sorry about that. I should do it like this. Okay, so Soligent and Big Battery, we're doing something different here, folks. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So this is Soligent and Big Battery standalone system. That's right. I said standalone because now there is the standalone systems are now granted in the 30% federal tax credit. And it's available now. I've highlighted that solar panels have now become optional. This is going to help you be able to knock on doors and quickly do calculations on the spot and be able to achieve a lower price point, an affordable price point to the customers and be able to put an ATM in their garage. Well, how does that work exactly? So I've done some, let me just kind of read here. We offered a standalone power system. They're going to save homeowners tens of thousands of dollars. It's really going to be an ATM in their garage. Now, coming down here, it is 30% tax credit. As I mentioned, there's also, if you can exercise the SGIP rebate in California, that's available. And I put some links here to help your customers achieve the SGIP, but without it, you're still getting 30% tax credit. You don't have to go to the bank and get an extra loan for solar panels. You can achieve this all by itself. Let me explain this system and how they're going to make money. What you see here, this is based on an average California savings. Okay. And this is going to be like a cost for the end user, the homeowner. Okay, so an ethos stacked with a 12K inverter is going to be about $11,190, and then you have a tax rate here of about $1,243. This labor installation is $1,080. So that's about $139, I believe. Let me see here. 1080 divided by 8 hours. You're at $135 labor rate. I know that labor rate will vary from location to location, but I added extra labor time. It does not take 8 hours to commission the system on a standalone. It's more in and around 4 hours, if that. Okay, the more that your guys are comfortable, the faster they can install. So the total system cost here is $13,513. The tax federal credit is going to get them 30% on that. Well, this is with SGIP. So looking down here, if we have a cycle count of 6,000 cycles. Now, also, I want to make something really clear here. The batteries itself, yes, they have a very high cycle count, but we don't play the game of cycles versus years, whichever comes first. We design our batteries to last. So you're going to be getting a 10-year full warranty regardless the cycle. I'm going to tell you about cycles, and I know that you all know this, is that if you have a cloud cover going over your solar panels and that cloud cover goes away, that's considered a cycle. That happens multiple times during the day. So you have a robust 10-year full warranty on the battery systems, and you have a 10-year warranty on the inverters. Okay, so I just wanted to make that clear. Coming down here, how does your customer save money? So we know that the system cost here is they're going to be saving $1,565. That would be the cost of electricity they would have been using when the peak time was expensive. The goal here is to have them charge the system, their battery backup, the Ethos or the Rhino, to charge that while the grid is inexpensive. By doing that and discharging when it is expensive using their own power, they're going to be able to save $1,565. So in 6 years, if you did the math, you'd multiply that by 6. It's going to be paid off. The system will be paid off in 6 years. Okay, the battery system itself is going to last about 16.5 years. That means you have 10.5 years return on investment. Your customer, over the lifespan of 16 years, they're going to be making $16,432.50. That's unbelievable. That's without adding solar panels to the roof. Now, I did mention that is an option. If they wanted to add solar panels, that ROI is going to be cut in more than half. It's the return on investment would be something like 3 years.
And folks, what he's saying is absolutely the facts. You know, right now, we love solar. Solar is vital in our business. But right now, homeowners are looking at the total amount of principal that they have to go get a loan for, and they have to go borrow this money. And solar by itself under NEM 3 in California is not feasible because of the low return rate for the sellback value per kilowatt hour for overproduced energy. So therefore, the only way to make solar under NEM 3 in California work is to have that battery system. Well, now what has that done? It's doubled the principal or the dollar amount that the customer needs to go borrow just to make solar make sense in California under NEM 3. So this is a viable alternative to not limit who you're selling to. This standalone storage value proposition of putting an ATM machine in everyone's garage is a financial investment to save them money, not a total offset and not getting them off the grid. But it is a way for them to mitigate their higher electric bill costs without that high upfront investment, literally bringing the upfront investment back down to what traditional PV only systems would cost. So It is going to increase the entry into the market by customers, homeowners that were not considering it because of the high upfront cost. They're now going to consider this. If you could show them that value proposition, it's super simple. Buy from the grid when the rates are low, discharge to your loads in the home when the rates are high, profit the differential. It really is that easy. And if for whatever reason your customers' cost to charge the batteries when the rates are lowest at that time of day, if that differential between their low and their high is not enough, then you size them with a very small PV array that's just big enough to power daytime loads and charge that battery back up again. And then that per kilowatt hour cost differential makes sense. So in all reality, you're still going to be selling solar. You're just going to probably be selling less solar on each job, but the overall volume of customers that you're going to get with this standalone strategy that will add a little bit of solar on to make that more viable will actually increase your overall volume of PV array sales. So believe it or not, the way to save your solar business is to start selling batteries. And this standalone storage solution, I believe, is the strategy that you need to take to the streets. Back to you, Carlos. Great job so far, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much. All right. So we talked about the Ethos. We talked about the Rhino 2. We talked about the Lux inverter. We talked about standalone. All done here with Big Battery. I'm going to let you in on something different. As a manufacturer, nobody has allowed this without doing an original design manufactured specifically for a customer. We are changing, we are evolving, and now we're going to offer your customers. Let me share my screen here. Drum roll here, please. A private label here on our Ethos battery. We've been listening. We've heard the request, and now it's available through Big Battery. Your installers are going to be able to put their own private label on our control box. Let me zoom in here a little bit. Okay, so it still will have to say Ethos, powered by Big Battery, but it'll be very small here on the bottom. That's because it would be, it's UL certified, and for it to be grid tied, we have to have our name on there somewhere. However, on this area here, we're going to be able to put their name, their installer name. There is a requirement for that. It's you know, there's a requirement for that. This is your stackable option, and here's the requirement. In order for your installers to take advantage, and this is for a very selective group, but they're out there. I've talked to many of them already, and they are starting. To qualify, you need to at least have 50 battery systems a month on average, and a minimum of 6 months. Okay. Now we say systems. It actually means 50 control boxes. The control module that sits here on top, that means you don't have to buy the batteries, but if they are willing to invest in the control box, 50 control boxes cost $3.9. I forget the price on those, but let's see here. So if I take 124,800 divided by 300,
our cost installers. If you're listening right now, if you're listening right now, installers, your investment to participate in this program, to have your own private labeled control box with your brand on it, is $416 each. You need to buy 300 up front, so it's $124,800, and that's your upfront investment. But look down to the checks below and continue on, Carlos. I mean, they really reduced their upfront cost and increased their cash flow with this, as well as having their own private brand, right?
Correct. Right. So as opposed to going and doing an ODM, if you wanted to do an ODM, there's an advantage there. It's your battery. but this is reducing the cost, the upfront costs, the R&D, the engineering costs, and then you don't have to wait, right? I mean, we can do it. It takes 7 months to get all the certs, but this is already all done for you. We're going to be able to put your name, the installer's brand name on there, because let's face it, when a homeowner gets a system in their home, they want to show it off. And if they're showing it off to their friends, they're going to want it, and it will have the installer's information on there, their logo. And guess who they'll buy from? They'll buy from that installer. We're not, and that's a huge benefit. And that's really going to get our installers interested. So we like to think outside of the box. This is available only through Big Battery and through Soligent. Nobody else is getting this.
Yeah, this is Marshall's Big Battery. So what we're talking about here is we can professionally screen print your logo and maybe contact information on the front of this control box. It's still, for certification purposes, it still has to say a Big Battery ethos system, but that can be kind of smaller on the side. That way, you know, what I've seen in these installs is I've seen tacky bumper stickers, you know, stuck on the system with, you know, a small installer, you know, wants to publish that they did the install. But for a larger account, we can make it look very professional, tailored to you. And that's something we can do for a small amount, right? It's just a control box investment. And that's, yeah. So I hope that makes sense.
And the reason why we need to have 6 months commitment is because if we're going to do a label here for you, we want to make them in a large enough run, right, for it to make sense. So 300 for the control box, not a bad run.
And at the end of the day, too, we want this to be special.
Yes.
You all remember the story of Krispy Kreme donuts when it was special. I mean, there were Krispy Kreme locations, and the line would be out the door, and people just wanted to get their hot Krispy Kreme donuts off the river of oil, fresh right off the assembly line, and it was a special thing. But then they suddenly started having Krispy Kreme on end caps at Vons and in supermarkets and Albertsons and Rayleigh's and Kroger and all over the place. And then next thing you know, it stopped being special. So it's not just the economics of the run and making sure that, you know, we're meeting the economics of labeling and how many we need. That plays into it, but also this is a special club. Okay, and if your customers want to be in the special club, it's a very small price to pay to have your own brand, right? So that's what we're selling here. We're selling freedom. We're selling independence. We're not just selling, you know, some program here to make money. We're selling somebody the ability to have their own brand, their own battery, basically. So this is a special club, and if you want to get into the club, there is a very small price to pay. But for customers who are willing to get in that club, and folks, you know, that are on the Soligent sales team right now, or if you're listening right now and you're an installer and you're like, I want to get in the club, hey, you're welcome to join us. It's not a very high bar to get in, but if you're willing to make that investment, you could have your own brand. Now, thinking about the customers that might benefit most from being in this club, think about the customers out there that are very strong with their brand recognition, right? But they are very, very hooked into direct relationships with manufacturers who are very transactional. Like, for example, certain companies out there that come to mind that go direct, like SolarEdge as an example. Well, we need to go talk to those companies that love their brand, but necessarily they're going direct, maybe to a large manufacturer. We can now put them in the business of pulling away from that trapped relationship that they're in and really put the power and the gas on the fire for their own brand, not a manufacturer's brand. So back to you, Big Battery. Thank you so much, Carlos. But I wanted to make sure you understand, folks, it's not just economics. This is a special club, and we're inviting customers to get into this club. And there is a little bit of a price to entry to get in, but it's well worth it. Back to you, Carlos.
And to be clear, the price to entry is not in dollars; it's in a commitment, because that money goes towards your control boxes that you would have purchased anyway, right? It's the same price. It's just a matter of if we're going to do the work to do the labeling that we'd want, you know, a certain number of units of control boxes that we you know have your commitment on. That's all.
And great question, Bill. The fact is if you're willing to make that investment up front, you can get in the club. So we're not going to limit how many people can get in the club. Everybody can join that wants to make that investment. Absolutely. Great question, Bill.
I think another point here, somebody has asked me this in the past, and that question was, is there a certain territory that you need to stay within? The answer to that is no. There's no territory for you to stay in. So if you have a customer in Arizona, if you have a relationship with a customer in New York and you're allowed to sell into that territory, we don't have that kind of restriction. Am I frozen here?
Yep, you're back. I can hear you, my man. Great job, Carlos.
Okay, perfect. Did you guys hear about the territories? We don't have a territory restriction on the labels. So if you, let's see, so we can either, so Bill's got a question, so we can either stock or drop ship private label. So the answer to that is, yes, the customers would be stocking and we can drop ship anywhere. No, I'm sorry. I think I misunderstood that.
Yeah, so the customer's going to buy the 300 control boxes up front, and that's going to go from Big Battery to your customer. Your customers are going to stock those. And then Big Battery will drop ship directly to your customer, free shipping, no freight, because they're going to buy enough batteries per system to qualify for their free shipping. And so it's going to just be drop shipped as needed to your customer as they order 3, 10, 20, 50, whatever battery modules. So they only need to stock the control boxes. The customers are making that investment in stocking those. Big Battery is going to ship on our behalf direct to the customer the battery modules that are blank as needed. And because the volume that's going to be shipped is within their 4 batteries at a time, or more quantity requirement, that's going to be free freight, free shipping. So drop shipping is not going to be an issue. Also, because it's in stock at Big Battery, they'll ship it to your customer directly within 3 days of receiving the PO from Soligent. So fantastic. Yes, customer is the installer, Bill. Absolutely. Yep. Awesome. Thank you, Carlos. Go for it, my man. Sorry for the interruptions. I'm excited we are, man. This is so awesome. Way to go, Big Battery. Way to go, Soligent. We're bringing something to the market that no one else is offering right now. This is a game changer. Great job, Carlos. Great job, team.
Thank you very much. And so that's really kind of what I have. We're open to take any other questions. I think to answer a question that may come up, we have them in stock. Okay, we don't have a problem with inventory. We are the largest. Oh, I'm gonna have to take it back. We are the second largest privately owned stockpile lithium anywhere in North America. We always have boats and boats and boats of lithium coming in. We're second to Tesla. So that kind of tells you
that's for finished product, not cells. But for finished product, we have a very large supply of lithium in 2 locations in America, and California and Texas.
Yep, we now have a Texas location, and that's going to be coming up here pretty soon. It's 308,000 square feet in Texas, just outside of Dallas there, Marshall.
Yeah, that's correct.
Just outside of Dallas. So growing at a rapid rate. And folks, we're not just, I mean, we're not just national in the lower 48 states. If you have any customers that you'd like to ship international, we can certainly do that as well on a FTL. I forgot to mention one other thing before I let you guys go, and this is very important, I think. We are the only manufacturer that is allowing or that is offering free recycling on the lithium batteries. So there's a lot of companies. Well, there's a big question there, which is, what do we do with our lithiums when they're done? Well, there are people that will say, yeah, I can do it. I'll take it from you. And they'll charge you to recycle these lithium batteries, and they will come back to me and get them done for free on an FTL, a full truckload. There's only 2 companies in the United States that can recycle them. We're one of them.
That's huge, folks, for sustainability, for our environment, for the economic viability of energy storage. What would lead acid batteries cost if they weren't the most recycled products on Earth, right? Probably quite a bit if we had to mine brand new lead constantly. So having a company step up on the recycling front, offering to recycle lithium for free, FTL, untouched by any of the competition. Nobody's stepped up to do that yet. Just a bunch of talking heads. They're walking the walk, not just talking the talk at Big Battery. So Carlos, I hope you don't mind. We'll go ahead and close it out.
Yeah,
I want
absolutely.
to remind everybody on this call. Oh, by the way, quick question for Bruce Roush. There is no installer certification required for Big Battery, but they do offer free training. Correct. So absolutely, Bruce, get them in touch with Carlos and Marshall, and Big Battery will provide one-on-one training for all of your installer customers who want to learn and become comfortable and experts at installing this product. But no, there is no extra certifications they need to get, because frankly, it's that easy of a product to work with. So we'll go ahead and leave it there. If you'd like,
I have a couple quick points. Very
for
quick.
It, Marshall.
Yeah. So on every product page, there's an installation video. If you scroll down here, you'll see it just below the product photo, Carlos.
Yep, I'm going there now.
Also, and there's an installation guide right there. There's another one on the inverter page that shows you quick commissioning. And then below the price, what you'll see is there's a SKU. Can you go back to that page?
Which
you
one?
Don't need to go to the inverter page. Just go back to the inverter. No, don't go to the inverter. Go back to the battery page so I can show them the SKU. So on this UL grid type page, if you go into the product, you see the SKU number K0954. That is the kit that gives you everything on the battery and inverter, and all the cable connections and COM cables. Everything is included in that K number, that K0954. So if you go on this page and you're looking for the right system, you can select the system that you want, and you deliver the K number. And I think that's soon going to be in your internal system. The last point is going to be that we still sell a lot of this product to off-grid too. So don't discount the off-grid market. At the price points we're talking about, they're getting an on-grid certified product that has all the thermal chamber testing, the safety of an on-grid certified product at the price of an off-grid product. So we're still selling a lot of these in off-grid. And so I would consider this for off-grid also. And then on the off-grid side, some of these guys don't have Wi-Fi, and the inverter also has an LTE dongle. The LTE dongle allows for, the remote monitoring permission setting of the installer and all that, in the case where they don't have Wi-Fi, right? And so these off-grid remote guys, that's really important. And the cost for that dongle is less than $25 a year. And that's a service that we do through the inverter company, so that you can offer that LTE connection. Okay? That's all I have.
And do not pass up customers that have 12-volt systems or 24-volt systems. There's a lot of lead acid systems and whatnot that are out there, or mobile systems, etc., that are not 48-volt. Do not feel that we're going to lose the business. As you can see right there, Big Battery offers packages for 12, 24, and 48-volt systems of all sorts of different applications. So Don't pass up on those markets. I want to remind everyone the Big Battery crew is coming back for another webinar with Soligent in mid-April. So stay tuned on our social media platform for the next opportunity to sign up and learn, especially if you have customers that you'd like to invite. That's what it's for. We want you customers to learn, because that's what helps you become more valuable to your customers and to be more successful. Education is key. That's what we're all about here at the Soligent Storage Webinar Series, available right here at the Soligent YouTube channel. All right, everyone, thank you so much. Carlos, Marshall, the Soligent team, and also as well, everyone out there in the renewable energy, clean energy space. You're trying to make a big difference for our planet, for our economy, for your business, for your customers, for your teammates, for yourself and your family. We're here to help you make that happen. We are your clean energy distributor. We have all of your clean energy solutions available: energy storage, solar, PV array, racking, EV chargers, tool fasteners and safety, inverters. We have it all the different supplies that you'll need for your clean energy project. We have available right here at Soligent at soligent.net. Become a dealer today. Click on the link below to find out more. And again, let's get big together with Big Battery here at Soligent. Thanks so much for learning with us today. And again, joining us at the Soligent YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, and comment down below so you can be a part of our ongoing educational process as we improve for our customers to improve our world together. Thanks so much, Big Battery, and everyone. Have a great day.
Have a great day.